arms speak for the heart. Part 1. The Silent Change. Right now, as you breathe and believe everything is fine, something quiet is happening inside you. Your heart vessels are moving, tightening, hardening without pain. Tiny fragments drift through the bloodstream like grains of sand in a silent river. You feel nothing, no alarm, no warning, because there are no pain nerves inside the heart's vessels. That is the cruel mercy of nature. You can live with 90% of an artery blocked and still smile, walk, cook, love, until one ordinary moment when the last narrow space closes like a door, and life, so warm a second ago, begins to fade without sound. But the body is not defenseless. When the heart is in trouble, it borrows another voice. It speaks through the arms. The arms, so far from the chest, are the first to sense the storm. When blood thins or stalls, the arms lose their lightness. A strange heaviness creeps from shoulder to fingertips. You call it fatigue. You tell yourself to rest. You ignore the whisper. I have spent 25 years watching these whispers turn into emergencies. I have stood in the dim light of intensive care units, hearing the same regret again and again. I should not have ignored that feeling in my arm. The words are never dramatic. They are quiet, breathless, filled with disbelief. And every time I hear them, I wish I could turn time backward just 1 week. Mr. Lee Kyung-ho believed in his health. Every dawn he walked the path under cherry trees, breathing the cool air, the sound of pigeons echoing from the rooftops. He drank his instant coffee and greeted neighbors with calm pride. He had earned his strength through years of discipline. Then one morning his right arm felt weak, just a flicker, a tremor. He thought it was the mountain trail from yesterday. The next day the same weakness returned, subtle yet persistent. By the 3rd week it was there every morning, a faint weight that refused to leave. At the supermarket his daughter noticed him stagger. She touched his hand. It was cold, almost bluish. At the hospital, the scan revealed a 70% blockage in his left coronary artery. The doctor said, "A week later, and you might have never made it here." They inserted a small balloon to open the vessel. He watched the screen as blood began to move again, bright as a sunrise in grayscale light. Weeks later, he walked beneath the same cherry trees, lifted his arms to the sky, and said quietly, "I can feel my heart again." Mrs. Choi Soon-ja loved mornings. The smell of rice, the radio humming old songs, her cat circling her feet. A week before the incident, she told her son, He laughed gently. "You're getting older, Mom." He placed a warm patch on her shoulder. She smiled. 3 days later, while lifting a pot of soup, her arm collapsed. So did she. By the time the ambulance arrived, the rhythm of her heart had fallen apart. A large infarction had already stolen part of her heart muscle. She survived, but her world changed shape. Now she moves in a wheelchair. Her speech is slow, her eyes bright but distant. 2 people, 2 warnings. One listened, one delayed. That single decision drew the line between recovery and remorse. Why do we ignore the arms? Because pain feels less frightening when it's far from the chest. Because we believe our hearts will shout when danger comes. But hearts rarely shout. They whisper through the limbs, through the faint tremor in a hand, through the strange coldness in the palm. In Korea, there is a word, jong, a warmth that binds people together, a patience that endures pain for the sake of others. Yet that same jong can become our weakness. It makes us endure our own suffering too long. Your body is not your enemy. It is a messenger. It warns you long before disaster arrives. Listen to it. Imagine the heart as a small house hidden beneath the ribs. Each beat is a light turning on and off in that house. When a wire begins to fray, the light flickers, but the room still looks bright. Only when darkness spreads do you realize how long the signal had been trying to reach you. When you feel the weight in one arm, the numbness that travels like cold smoke, do not dismiss it. The arm is the messenger from that hidden house. It is the heart's final attempt to be heard. Take a slow breath. Stretch both arms forward. Do they rise with equal ease? Does one tremble? Is one colder than the other? These are not coincidences. They are questions your body asks every day. If you answer with silence, the heart continues to whisper, softer and softer, until the whisper disappears. Listen now, before silence wins. Arms Speak for the Heart, Part 2, The 7 Signals. The story does not end with fear. It begins again with awareness. Once you know what the body is trying to say, you are no longer defenseless. The arms are the heart's telegraph, and every pulse, every tremor carries a message. When circulation falters, the language of the arms changes. I have seen this language repeat itself in thousands of patients. Different faces, different cities, but the same sequence of signs. Signal 1. Sudden one-sided weakness. One arm suddenly loses strength. It feels as if gravity has doubled only on that side. The hand cannot grip a cup. The shoulder sags. The muscles forget what they were made to do. You try to shake it off, stretch, massage. Nothing changes. This is the first and most urgent message. Blood flow is slowed. Nerves are starving for oxygen. If you lift both arms and one refuses to stay up, that is your heart pleading for help. Do not wait for chest pain. This is already pain in disguise. Signal 2. Abnormal sensations. A strange tingling, a crawling feeling beneath the skin, as though tiny sparks are running through the veins. Sometimes it wakes you at night. Sometimes it follows you during the day. You look at your palm and see nothing, yet something is undeniably wrong. Many call it nerve compression, or aging, or the weather. But when these sensations come and go without reason, when they shift from fingers to forearm to shoulder, the origin is deeper. The heart sends unstable signals when its rhythm falters. The electricity of life misfires, and the arms become the receiver of that static. Signal 3. Dull pain down the left arm. This is the classic cry, the slow-moving thunder before the storm. It begins near the shoulder, spreads toward the wrist, heavy, pressing. Not sharp, but suffocating. It feels like someone is quietly placing a stone on your arm and never lifting it. If the ache lasts more than 10 minutes, if it returns again and again, it is not muscle fatigue. It is a shadow cast by the heart itself. Go. Leave whatever you are doing and go. Every minute you delay, heart cells die that will never live again. Signal 4. Coldness and color change. Touch both hands. One feels warm, the other cool. You think it is circulation. You are right. Poor circulation from the center. When vessels narrow, blood fails to reach the outskirts of the body. The skin grows pale or bluish, nails lose color. The body sacrifices the farthest territories first to protect the core. When your hand becomes that sacrifice, it is time to act. The heart is rationing its blood, and you are living on borrowed time. Signal 5. Fine motor difficulty. You button your shirt and miss the hole. You hold a pen and the letters wander across the page. You fumble with keys, with chopsticks, with a zipper that once obeyed your hands. It is subtle, almost funny, until it happens again. This is coordination fading, not in the brain but in the muscles starved of steady flow. The command from the heart grows weak, and the fingertips forget the music they used to play. Signal 6. Swelling and heaviness. Your ring grows tight, though your weight has not changed. Your wristwatch leaves a deeper mark each evening. By night, your hands feel full, as if filled with invisible sand. When the heart's pump slows, fluid lingers in the edges of the body. This swelling is a quiet flood, and like all floods, it begins unnoticed. A cup of water too many until the river breaks its banks. Look closely at your hands at sunset. They will tell you what your heart did all day. Signal 7. Pain in jaw, neck, or shoulder. Sometimes the heart disguises itself completely. It pretends to be a sore jaw, a stiff neck, a knot between the shoulders. You take painkillers, you blame the pillow, you stretch. But the ache returns when you walk fast, when you climb stairs, when emotion surges. That is no muscle strain. It is the heart borrowing the language of nearby nerves. If jaw pain walks hand in hand with arm discomfort, it is not coincidence. It is warning. Safe or dangerous. There is a simple way to know. Safe pain appears with motion and leaves with rest. It obeys your control. Dangerous pain ignores your rules. It arrives while you are still, sleeping, reading, and it leaves only when the heart decides. If pain comes with short breath, cold sweat, nausea, or sudden fatigue, that is not your imagination. That is an emergency. Call for help. Time is not money. Here it is life. 2 hours can separate a scar from a funeral. Why the arms speak first. Arms are far from the heart, and gravity makes them honest. Blood must travel upward, against weight, against time. When the system weakens, the highest peaks lose light first. Just as in a city blackout, the farthest street goes dark before the center. The arms lose warmth before the chest cries out. They are the testing ground, the early alarm, the rehearsal before catastrophe. So treat them with the same respect you give to the heart itself. When your arms complain, listen as though your heart were speaking directly. The science beneath the story. Inside the arteries, tiny plaques grow like barnacles on a ship's hull. Each one narrows the path by a breath. The heart works harder, pushing blood through shrinking tunnels. The pressure rises, the muscle thickens, until one day the plaque cracks and the body, trying to heal, builds a clot large enough to stop the flow entirely. This is not sudden. It is years of small neglect. The body always warns you. It always gives you chances. Every tingle, every heaviness, every odd silence between beats is one of those chances. If you take even one of them seriously, you can rewrite the story before it reaches its end. Between fear and hope. There's fear in these warnings, yes, but there is also power. Once you recognize the pattern, the fear becomes focus. You begin to see your own hands not as tools, but as signals. You realize that every morning stretch is a conversation. Raise both arms and hold them there. Watch how the muscles tremble. That trembling is life. That trembling means the connection is still alive. You can still act. You can still heal toward the light. Imagine the heart as a lantern behind your ribs. Each pulse is a flicker of light spilling into the corridors of your body. The arms are the hallways that carry that glow outward. When they dim, the lantern needs tending. Do not wait until the flame is gone. Go now. Check your blood pressure. Walk 10 minutes today. Drink water instead of another cup of doubt. You have more control than you think. The smallest act, standing up, breathing deeply, choosing to notice, is already the beginning of protection. The heart forgives easily when you return to it. It only wants to be noticed before it breaks. Prelude to prevention. In the next part of the story, we will not speak of danger but of defense. You will learn the simple daily shields that keep the vessels open, the quiet rituals that turn awareness into strength. For now, remember this: the arms are not separate from the heart. They are its voice, its echo, its outstretched memory. Listen to them tonight before you sleep. If they are heavy, rest them over your chest. Let them feel the rhythm. They were made to serve. And when you wake, lift them again. If they rise evenly, if they feel alive, thank them, for they are still speaking for you. Part 3. Prevention, the 3-minute morning test, and final reflection. Chapter 1. The 5 Shields. The story of the heart does not have to end in tragedy. You hold the power to rewrite its future with habits so simple they seem invisible. I call them the 5 shields. First shield, blood pressure control. Every vessel in your body feels the pressure of your choices. Salt, stress, and stillness raise that pressure one heartbeat at a time. Measure it often. Know your number. When it creeps above 120/80, listen carefully. If it climbs to 140/90, do not wait for pain. Walk, breathe, release the salt you no longer need. A meal cooked with less seasoning may taste unfamiliar for a week. Then it will taste like freedom. Second shield, cholesterol balance. Inside every artery, the war between plaque and flow never ends. Fat hardens into armor, and the blood must fight to pass through. Lower the enemy's supply lines. Eat more fiber, fish, and grains that remember the earth. Let your meals become medicine. A single plate of vegetables cannot cure disease, but 10,000 quiet choices can. Third shield, blood sugar management. Sweetness comforts the tongue and slowly poisons the vessel. When sugar lingers in the blood, it scrapes the walls that carry life. Test it. Do not fear the numbers. Walk after meals. Let movement burn what words cannot. Every step is an apology. The body accepts without resentment. Fourth shield, quit smoking. Smoke replaces air with memory of fire. Each drag tightens the arteries as if the body were bracing for disaster. The good news, the moment you stop, healing begins. After 1 year, your risk falls by half. After 10, the heart forgets you ever smoked. You do not need to quit tomorrow. You need to quit today. Fifth shield, stress control. The invisible toxin. You cannot see cortisol, yet it stiffens the vessel walls as surely as salt. Find one ritual that calms you. A slow walk, a conversation, a piece of music that steadies the breath. Sleep as if your heart were listening, because it is. Chapter 2. The 3-minute morning test. Each morning after waking, take 3 minutes to listen before the world begins. Minute 1. Sit, then stand. Notice if both arms feel equal strength. If one side hesitates, the heart is whispering. Minute 2. Close your eyes for 30 seconds. Can you balance? Can you feel the floor beneath both feet the same way? Loss of balance is a sign of unequal flow. Minute 3. Touch your palms together. Are they the same warmth? Do they feel the same weight? If not, your heart may already be sending its quiet telegram. 3 minutes. No equipment, no monitor, no doctor. Only awareness. The cost is nothing. The reward is another sunrise. Chapter 3. The difference between knowing and doing. Knowledge alone does not save lives. Action does. I have met hundreds of patients who could recite every warning sign, yet ignored the first tremor when it came. The mind says later. The body says now. Only one of them tells the truth. So make one promise before this day ends. Not to be perfect, not to change everything, just to notice. Awareness is the smallest form of love you can give yourself. Chapter 4. The weight of aftermath. I have watched families wheel their loved ones into rehabilitation rooms. The hands that once cooked, built, wrote, held, now hang like memories. The cost of neglect is not measured only in money or medicine, but in the silence between family members who wish they had said, "Let's go to the hospital." That sentence could have rewritten everything. The price of early care may seem high. The price of waiting is immeasurable. When paralysis comes, it does not only take movement, it steals identity, confidence, dignity. But it does not have to happen. You can stop it before it starts. Chapter 5. What happens when you listen? When you listen early, you win twice. You prevent the attack itself, and you keep the future wide open. The heart that receives treatment within 2 hours can recover completely. You walk again, travel, laugh, hold your grandchildren without fear. You remain yourself. Your independence stays yours. You live with strength instead of survival. Small decisions create that miracle: a checkup scheduled instead of postponed, a walk taken instead of another hour on the couch, a calm response instead of anger. Every small act feeds the heart hope. Chapter 6. A letter to the listener. If you are hearing this, you have already changed your odds. Awareness is protection. You will begin to notice your arms differently. Now, the way they feel when you wake, the way they react when you climb stairs, the way they rest when you sleep. Tell your parents what you learned. Watch how they move their hands. Ask them gently if they have felt weakness or tingling. Your concern might be the heartbeat that saves them. Share this story with someone you care about, not as fear, but as guidance. We survive better when we carry each other's warnings. Chapter 7. The philosophy of the heart. The heart is more than a muscle. It is a memory of every kindness you have ever shown, a record of every forgiveness you've ever given. It beats not only to live, but to remind you that you still have something to offer. When you take care of it, you take care of everyone who loves you. When you ignore it, they suffer the silence you leave behind. So honor it. Feed it light, laughter, motion. Keep it curious. Keep it humble. Chapter 8. The final reflection. Your arms are the language of the heart. When they tremble, when they tire, when they go numb, the heart is speaking in a language you can touch. Ignoring that language is ignoring the rescue call of your own life. Do not wait for tragedy to teach you fluency. From this moment on, you are not a bystander to your health. You are the translator of your body's messages. Tonight, before you sleep, place your hand over your chest. Feel the steady rhythm inside. That is your oldest friend speaking. Tell it you will listen now. Tell it you will not make it whisper again. If this story stays with you, let it travel further. Share it. Repeat it. Because somewhere, someone you love will one day feel that same strange weakness in their arm, and they will remember your voice telling them what it means. They will act, and they will live. The heart does not ask for perfection. It asks for attention. That is enough to change everything. Epilogue. The quiet promise. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, the world will look the same. But you will see it differently. The small noises of your body will no longer be background. They will be music. Each beat, each pulse, each stretch of your arms will remind you that life is fragile but willing. Start your 3-minute check. Measure your blood pressure. Breathe slowly. Drink water. Smile. These are not chores. They are prayers in motion. Let your arms carry those prayers. Let your heart hear them, because arms speak for the heart. And tonight, the heart has finally been heard.